Let's all give Doo-Doo a round of applause for doing such a good job tonight. When I drive my car down the street and I stop to pick up a hitchhiker, they look at me and say, "No thanks. You look like a serial killer." I opened up a bottle of nose drops and they barely came out. Then I put them in the other nostril and they really came out. I was high for 2 days. When I knock on someone's door and they open it, I say, "Hi, wouldn't you like to meet a guy like me?" At the airport, none of the taxi drivers would stop and pick me up. I don't know why. At the 99-cent store, you never know what you're going to get. It's always a crapshoot. That's why I try to buy food that's not spoiled or rotten. I received a text message from a serial killer asking me if I'd like to go out to dinner with him and be the main course. No. Oh, what? I'm not a doctor, but I do practice medicine. Now, sometimes my patients really get better. And then other times they really get worse. Would you guys like to take your chances with me? No? Okay. In the alleyway, next to the dumpster, I bought a dime bag from a guy for $50. When I got it home, there was just this dime in the bag. And nothing else. I got a job at a radio station. It was located next to a cemetery. I was reading obituaries on the air when I looked out the window and said, "They're digging this guy's grave right now, deeper and deeper." Then I went to work at a potato chip factory. I opened up a big bag of potato chips and started eating them. I called it lunch. They called it theft, and I got fired. I received a phone call from a phone solicitor. I hung up on him. They called me back and said I'd won a really big prize. I told them, "If you're going to pay this month's rent, that'll be great." They hung up on me. I don't have any children that I know of because I've never been married to anyone at all. I tried to buy a life insurance policy from MetLife. The agent looked at me and he said, "You look like you've been dead for a week. You're uninsurable." Aliens come up to me and they ask me, "Are you one of us?" I tell them no. They're always skeptical of me until they get to know me. And then they say, "Thank God he's not one of us." I bought a house in my hometown. When I got moved into it, I found out it was full of termites. I really tried to make friends with them. They all said no and moved away, leaving me in the house behind. When I worked When I worked as a bartender, one of my regular customers gave me a tip. The next day, he asked for it back. I looked at him and said, "Are you serious?" "I already spent it." Yeah. I attended a mausoleum entombment service at Forest Lawn. The minister came up to me and he said, "Why did you park your hearse in front of the fire hydrant?" "I don't work for the mortuary." He looked at me and said, "Are you sure about that?" "Yes." I asked a girl I work with if she'd like to go out on a date with me. She told me, "I'm just not enough of a daredevil to do that with you." I don't like to have to take the bus, because every time I do, I always get seated next to some guy who looks at me and says, "Have you got any extra money to give to me?" And I say no. And then he says, "Get off the bus." I mean, how many people get picked on by the bus driver? Thank you, folks.